It's the Sunday before Mania, and not an eye in the house was dry because it's time for the All Effing Wrestling Show. What do we got on the show today?
We're going to do news, and then we're going to talk about the 25 greatest WrestleMania matches ever.
Ever.
Agree with us, don't agree with us, leave your mention in the comments, like and subscribe. Tell us what you think.
Do you remember we used to just do top 10 lists?
Yeah.
We're blowing it out of the water. EVP Joe.
Now, 25 is the minimum.
Before we do that,
yeah,
y'all need to hit that music.
Hit it.
I got my mic turned on and I'm ready to go. It's time for the All Effing
That's all systems go. We need that AFW logo. Stat.
You're watching the AFW Network.
Holy cow! Sunday. Good afternoon. Good morning. Good afternoon. If I don't see you till later, let's do takeout tonight. Let's not keep my supper warm. Let's go to the Olive Garden or something. Or
do you use skip the dish? Do you use these things?
Do I use what?
Like skip the dish and these things that you order from?
Yeah.
Which one do you use?
Sometimes I'll do DoorDash. A lot of times it's Uber Eats.
Do you guys not have skip the dish?
No, I don't. At least
that's a Canadian thing. We got Uber Eats.
And
what's the other one you said?
DoorDash.
We got DoorDash, but the big one in Canada is skip the dish.
Really?
Yeah, I've never heard of that before.
Yeah,
dish.
They hired lots of celebrities to do commercials for it.
I don't really even do DoorDash or Uber. That's so expensive. The delivery.
I've never done it because I'm just like, I have all these things like within walking distance. I'm like, why would I do that?
Yeah. It's rare that I'll do it. It's mostly just because I'm just purely lazy and I don't feel like getting in the car, driving, picking something up and driving back or eating there. So I'll just I'll Postmate it, or I'll Uber.
Some of these drivers are horrible. Some of these people are horrible. They leave it at your door, and then porch pirates get it. I had left on my door something I didn't order. I had like this. I think there was like a bunch of Chinese food left on my door, and I was like, the next day I'll eat it. there was a bubble tea I had to throw away.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Anyways. Welcome to this week's edition of the All Effing Wrestling Show. I know because I'm wearing the shirt, tells me that it's Sunday. So, how's everybody's weekend going so far?
I'm good. Let me introduce myself.
Yeah, introduce yourself.
I am your Canadian hero. I am the patron saint of professional wrestling. I am that gingered up, bubbly son of a bitch. I'm Canada Dry. Damn it.
Oh, yeah. I am, of course, your Chief Shenanigans Officer. I'm also apparently the human shield for Helen. For people who want to take shots at her, I'm the human shield. I am, of course, the almighty JFB.
That's right. You didn't do your thing. You just keep your supper warm.
Yeah, just kept my supper warm. What about you, good sir?
Y'all know it's me. It's the EVP here on a finally for one sunny Sunday where there's no rain. Feels like it's been nothing but raining here on the East Coast for like the last week.
And your cat just likes to be on camera.
Yeah, she does.
Unlike my cat.
Yeah. So before we get into the main event, talking about WrestleMania, we're only a few days away from WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2. I want to talk about the news. from the four corners of the globe, from our studios to your home. This is FNN, the FN News Network, starring Canada Dry and the JFB.
So, small request, JFB.
Yes.
Can we get a new news intro that says the AFW News Network starring JFB, EVP Joe, and Canada Dry?
I can do that. I can get ready for next week. So first on the list, it's been, it's funny. I went to the local market and I'm looking through the milk, lactose intolerant, and I come across a carton of milk, something I haven't seen in a long time. And I looked at it and I turned it over and there was a picture of Becky Lynch and they were like, have you seen her? So Becky was at Becky was at a Q&A. Somebody broached the question, are you going to be at WrestleMania? Are you going to wrestle? She said no. Essentially, WrestleMania 41 is right around the corner. I'm not wrestling, not anytime soon. I don't know when I'm coming back. So I guess motherhood is playing an important part. She mentioned her husband, Seth Rollins, said he's wrestling. Do we need Becky Lynch back in WWE, in any promotion? Do we need Becky Lynch back? Canada Dry?
No.
Oh.
We don't need Becky Lynch back. I don't hate her, but, this wrestling life takes a toll on families. It takes a toll on children.
Yep.
If their dad's on the road, blah, 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 but you can't have their dad and their mom on the road and leaving it to some nanny looking after them. You need one parent with you.
I will suggest that if you are going to look for a nanny, don't talk to Hulk Hogan. The Nanny was probably one of the worst movies I have ever seen, and it had Hulk Hogan in it. Don't let Hulk Hogan be your nanny.
Okay, you're a movie buff.
Yeah.
What was worse, No Holds Barred or The Nanny?
The Nanny was just bad. The No Holds Barred was so bad it's good. Like it just
it could be on that show Mystery Science Theater where they make fun of movies.
Yes. Like
Dookie. Do you remember that?
What is that smell? Dookie. God. Anyways, Joe, what do you think? We need Becky Lynch?
No, I don't think so. I'm a big Becky Lynch fan. But I will say, if her concern is being home with her family and she still wants to wrestle, AEW is right there. They don't do touring.
Yeah.
She would only have to go one day a week.
Yeah.
Maybe and then she could go back home. Yeah, maybe two.
Yeah. Okay.
And I know it's kind of, it's WWE people, but there's a reason we have more than one wrestling promotion, so people can have more opportunities.
There you go.
But also, you look at it's like a drug. You can't just do a little heroin. I'll just do a little. No, wrestling is a drug. You get back in, it's gonna suck you right in.
Yeah. Now, with that said, if Becky Lynch made the decision to never wrestle again and just to be a mom, that's cool. That's her choice, and she's allowed to do it. So,
yeah. I mean, for me, I miss Becky Lynch. I read her autobiography, which is a great read. If you get a chance, buy it, download it on Kindle, whatever. She's brutally honest about coming up in wrestling. It's not these books that some of these wrestlers write that they talk about the good times and, I knew Hulk Hogan, I knew I was going to be famous the second I walked into the ring. She offers a brutally raw look at the world of professional wrestling and what it means to be a professional wrestler. So if you get a chance.
As a character,
yeah,
I like her character.
Yeah.
but I don't think she's a great wrestler.
I think it's. I don't
She's
think
average as a wrestler.
I think she's a good wrestler. I think her character is what endears people to her.
Yeah, like
That-
as a performer, like doing she used to when she was in NXT, she was doing like the show dancing.
Yeah,
Like she just is she's an entertainer.
yeah, absolutely. Noob thinks, Noob agrees with you. We don't need Becky Lynch back. So,
And Tiffy Time says, I miss Becky also.
yeah.
Now, did you know that Luna and Tiffy are the same person?
No.
Yeah.
Really? Do we have empirical proof?
I can't prove it, but I just have this feeling.
Okay. Before we get into the next one, I watched SmackDown the other night, and Naomi and her character changed. The razor blades in her hair. I love Naomi as a heel. Like, she is doing some of the best work she's ever done in WWE or even TNA. She is just killing it with this diabolical character.
I will say, like, when you play a babyface your whole career,
Yeah.
I'm sure while they're doing this, they're thinking of ways that they could be a villain and they could do it well. So this is probably like 10, 15 years of buildup.
Oh, yeah.
I think just being a heel is freedom in character development.
Yeah. Yeah. I've always said, and it, I aped this from another person. I was at a retreat for filmmakers, and for some reason, I'm a writer as well, but I decided I was going to go ahead and do a screenwriting class. And one of the guys, Scott Frank, never heard of him, Scott Black, wrote Minority Report. He's wrote multiple scripts. And someone asked him, what's the easiest thing or the easiest kind of person to write for? Is it a hero or is it the villain? And he said, the hero is the most boring part in the entire movie because the hero has one objective: get from point A to get to point B. You can get these obstacles and you'll overcome the obstacles, but that's your destiny. You have to get to the end. A villain can do whatever the hell a villain wants as long as it deters the hero from obtaining his goal. So it doesn't matter. So for me, I love the villains. I love heels and I love villains. Like Joker is an amazing villain. Darth Vader, an amazing villain. Like you have, Hannibal Lecter, amazing villain. Like, they're so multi-dimensional where your hero kind of is not. Your hero is usually very two-dimensional. If you want an example, watch a Marvel movie. The heroes may have slight complexity, but for the most part, they're very two-dimensional. But your villain is crazy.
To get back to wrestling,
yeah,
I don't like tweeners.
No, I don't either.
No, like you're the cool bad guys, pretty much.
Yeah.
Cool bad guys.
Yeah. I blame Stone Cold for it. He's the one that started it all.
The NWO really did it.
And Randy Orton. Big time.
Yeah. So
real quick before we get on to this, because you talking about just villains and heroes. Me and my wife were watching the show 9/11, 9/11, the sitcom, but the spinoff, the Austin one.
Yeah.
And I know you know who he is, but Neil McDonough, I can't pronounce his last name, is probably the best villain in anything I've ever watched.
Yeah.
Like whether it's in this or it's an Arrow or anything else, I'd love watch because he's just so good at it. And he's like you said, like he has so much complexity and character to him.
Yeah.
Like he is fun to watch.
Yeah.
Really quick before we move on. Have you guys watched the new season of Black Mirror yet?
Not yet. It is
what?
queued up and ready to go after this.
What is it?
Black Mirror.
Black Mirror.
I haven't even started watching that show yet.
Oh, you are in for a treat. You need to go back to the first season? Oh,
Yeah.
What is
this
it
stuff
on?
is gold.
It's take the Twilight Zone and modernize it. I would say that's the best way.
And technology. There's
Where
technology.
can I watch it?
Netflix.
Netflix. Okay.
So Jay Cargill has a hot take. I don't necessarily agree with it, but she says that Ricky Saints, formerly known as Ricky
Starks.
huh?
Starks.
Yeah, Ricky Starks said that he is going to take over the industry.
Not in WWE, he isn't.
Jade Cargill thinks Ricky Saints is going to take over the industry. Whew.
You know, Jade Cargill has a better chance of taking over the industry than Ricky Starks. Now, Ricky Starks, super talented,
Yeah.
but I don't think there's a spot for him to take over. Like, you got to get a parking spot in order to pull up to the building, right? He's circling the lot for hours before he's going to even get a spot. So,
Look,
I mean, go ahead.
Sorry. As good as he is, there's a reason why WWE is called the land of the giants. He is tiny. He is Triple H may like him. He's not going to be a Triple H guy champion.
No,
It's just I don't see it happening.
I'm gonna give my hot take. Ricky Starks, Ricky Saints, whatever the hell you want to call him, is mediocre at best. He's got charisma, which is okay, but it's not on the level of some of your top performers. His wrestling is okay. Like, he's just mediocre. Like, I think him landing in NXT was a great landing spot for him. AEW was not working with him, was not working for him, wasn't working with him. WWE might have that opportunity and that chance, but him taking over the industry, please. We have a better chance of Canada.
do you think like pairing him with The Rock would work, or is that going to make him less individualized?
I think it'll just make it. I think it'll marginalize him more than it'll help him.
I think it would stop him. See, that's the thing. I think he is. He's Rock Jr.
Yeah.
And he's very influenced by The Rock. You can tell the way he speaks.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Multiplicity, Michael Keaton.
I love that movie.
So there's a scene where they go, hey, you know when you tape a tape and it's not very good? Here's number 4. That's Ricky Starks.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like Xeroxing a Xerox copy.
Exactly. Like, it's just okay. So
I will say.
So the Miz doesn't have a WrestleMania match for the first time in his whole career.
I'm gonna put this out there. I think in all actuality, him not being on WrestleMania is a sign that he's not going to be in WWE much longer. His contract's up soon. AEW would be a great place for the Miz to land. I would love to see the Miz in AEW.
I'm done with the Miz. I don't want to see him in AEW either. I
think he would tear that place apart. So WrestleMania 9, speaking of WrestleManias, there's a scene where Hulk Hogan's cutting a promo and he has a very noticeable black eye. There is a documentary that is out. I don't remember the name of it. I can't recall it, but it's on Peacock. But it talks about WrestleMania 9, specifically the spectacle of WrestleMania 9. Now, Hulk Hogan says, so the rumor is that Macho Man Randy Savage got pissed at Hogan, blamed him for the divorce between him and Miss Elizabeth and proceeded to punch Hulk Hogan in the face. Hulk Hogan has come out and said, that's not true at all, brother. I don't remember the excuse he gave as to why he got the black eye, but multiple wrestlers have confirmed that Macho Man did in fact punch.
This is the one where he says the racist remark, saying that Jap Yokozuna.
Yeah.
And then this is the one where he asked Brett's permission to have an impromptu championship match.
Yeah. So
one of the worst WrestleManias of all time, by the way.
Yeah. WrestleMania now was not a good WrestleMania.
Was that them dressed up as togas and all that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
It's also with Taker and Giant Gonzalez.
Oh God.
That was bad. That was Taker's worst WrestleMania.
By far. We want to wish good luck and success for KO. He is undergoing neck surgery. He's going to be out for 9+ months. Wrestling is not an easy sport. You put your body through a tremendous amount of just torture. And while you're wrestling in bigger promotions like WWE, there are safety precautions that are involved. You're dealing with seasoned professionals that know how to take care of you. But Kevin Owens, a.k.a. Kevin Steen, has not always wrestled in WWE. This man has wrestled all over the world in small promotions where, safety is not so much a priority or a number one priority. So it's coming. It's been coming for a while. Good luck to Kevin Owens. I hope he gets through this. I hope we see him back at least by next year's WrestleMania. So WWE has done a trademark with the name SmackDown.
Snackdown.
The new one is called Summer SmackDown, and to align with Dairy Queen and their promotion for their summer treats. So
I believe it was called Snackdown.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is Snackdown. I remember seeing a commercial or something like that.
Tony Khan.
Yeah.
Came out after Collision and introduced a new championship.
The Women's Pure Championship for Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Can I just say one thing? Tony Khan, I know you listen. We used to have you on speed dial. Now it just goes to voicemail. But introducing championships for the sake of introducing championships doesn't make sense. There are too many championships in your two major promotions.
I think I know why, though.
Yeah.
Ring of Honor is where most of these women wrestle.
Yeah.
Because if they can't get TV time on Dynamite,
yeah,
or Collision,
yeah,
they're going to be on Ring of Honor.
Yeah, getting some
ring time. So I don't mind it, actually.
Yeah.
All I know is if Serena Deeb is not the first pure champion, what are we doing?
She's not going to be.
It should absolutely be Serena Deeb. Should be.
It should.
Pure champion.
Serena Deeb should be your world champion. But Serena Deeb has something missing, and that's her ability to cut a promo.
Know who it is? It's Stokely Hathaway. You just pair him with everyone who isn't a good promo talker, and
yeah,
that's what I want to see.
Yeah. So
hold on, before we can we keep talking about the women for a minute though, because I want to talk about last night. The women had 3 matches on Collision and at least 2 promos.
Yeah.
And that was awesome to see. I don't know if this is just because of the Owen, but hopefully it's more than just it's an uptick in content for the women, because it's a good thing.
Can we just talk about Tony Storm listing off every woman that's in the Owen.
That
and
was
how she smacked him
amazing.
down with-
Here's an Easter egg, JFB.
Yeah.
She talks smack.
Yeah.
About everyone,
except for Chris Statlander.
which is interesting. It's like, wow.
I mean, I love the fact that she goes, Chris Statlander. Wow, what a woman.
She's always. I love what she said on commentary about Chris Statlander. Basically, that if we were a team, we would be Thunder Tits or something like
Yeah.
Thunder Thighs or something like that.
So we have a new induction into the Hall of Fame. He is no longer with us. This is posthumously is Kamala. The Ugandan Giant is now an official member of the WWE Hall of Fame. I'm happy for this. Very few times have I looked at a wrestler and gone, holy crap, this guy scares the living hell out of me. Kamala is one of those
So,
guys.
let me just say this. He's in the legacy wing.
Yes.
Everyone is in the legacy wing, and that's what this whole thing is.
Yeah, exactly. Well, speaking of Hall of Fame, this and I read this a couple weeks ago and wanted to talk about it, but the state of North Carolina has a bill that is getting ready to be passed. That's called the Ric Flair bill, where they are going to spend $60,000 to determine whether or not a National Wrestling Hall of Fame is feasible in the state.
Jeff, you're glitching on us. EBJ, does this mean we're moving into a different timeline when JFB glitches?
I think so.
And we've talked before about how we feel. Hey, I'm back. Anyways,
There you go. There you're back.
What do we think about having a National Hall of Fame? Like, you know, does this exclude WWE because WWE has a Hall of Fame? Is it going to be like the Cauliflower Alley Club, where, you know, basically if you wrestled and you were important, you're going to get inducted? Like, where do we see this?
I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen.
Okay.
Taxpayers want to spend their hard-earned money on a wrestling Hall of Fame? I don't think so.
Dude,
they're
they
willing
spend
to.
money on football stadiums.
Thank you.
And significantly more than $60,000 to just research the idea.
Yeah.
I think you vastly underestimate the intelligence of American people.
Or overestimate.
Yes, I mean overestimate. Yes, that's
There
the
you go.
correct word. I was sitting there thinking, I was like, yep, I said that wrong, but oh well, I'm rolling
Yes.
with it.
That was exactly. Let's see if it works.
But with that said, I mean, I don't think it's not going to be a true Hall of Fame. The WWE has so much of wrestling history tied up under its umbrella that I just don't see how this could really do anything for the sport.
JP,
Yeah.
you got another news story, or are we done?
No, I got two more. So Chris Bay, professional wrestler who did get hurt. They had a Chris Bay wrestling match in honor of Chris Bay. Unfortunately, Swerve Strickland, who is good friends with Chris Bay, could not be there, but said to Chris Bay that the second that you can get into a ring and wrestle, I want to be your first match, which is great. TNA has decided to do a fundraiser for Chris Bay, where ticket sales, merch sales, concession sales, all are going to go to Chris Bay and Chris Bay's family. So congratulations. Good for TNA. Good for Chris Bay. I love Chris Bay. I hope we get to see him doing what he loves sooner than later. The last one, Nick and Brie Bella have a podcast. If you haven't listened to it, it's actually a decent podcast. But they had Bryan Danielson on, and they were talking about marriage, and Bryan Danielson was very open about his depression. He does suffer from depression. Vast majority of people do suffer from depression. So for him to come out and talk about it, I think is a huge thing. I want to give a shout out to Bryan Danielson for talking about his depression, because depression can be crippling if you don't get it medicated, don't get it taken care of. It is going to kill you. I mean, at some point, it's just going to run you down.
Especially as a man opening up and talking about it, because for so long, especially here in America, it's been frowned upon on men talking about their feelings.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
I mean, I'm bipolar. I suffer from depression. I am medicated. I talk to a therapist now twice a week. But yeah, it's something that is not, looked at. Like, I can't go to my mom and dad and talk about depression because they're from a different generation where depression was kind of
I also feel like sometimes you feel like you're a burden on your friends.
Yes. Yeah. Depression is probably one of the loneliest things in the entire world. You could be in a room of 1 million people and you still feel alone.
So this is what I like to try to strive to do, is to check in on those I know who struggle with depression. You just send them a message, just say, how are you doing? I'm just checking in on you. I love you, brother. And just, if they don't want to say anything, that's good. But that kind of stuff lifts someone's spirit.
Yeah. It makes a huge difference when you're at your lowest point and you don't know where to go, where to turn, what to do. A simple message from a friend changes everything for that person. So that's the end of the news. Wanted to keep it nice and short and sweet because
we did it, though. It took half an hour to get to this point.
It's all good.
We're going to have to cut it down to 24, but no, we'll do 25.
We'll do 25. But it's time for us to get to the main event.
This is the main event of the evening.
Okay, real quick before we get going, I have this list, Canada Dry. Are we going in order from bottom, or can I pick and choose which ones I want to talk about?
Yes. So we have this giant list for those people watching home. We have this giant list.
Yeah.
Just to help everyone.
Yeah.
You can pick anything off that list.
Okay.
And
because
so just
what
make
you
sure
have at number
delete it out from your cross it out.
Yeah.
Because what you have number one on this list, I would not pick.
No, that's not number one.
I know. I was just making. That's why I was asking.
These are the WrestleManias that they are.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
I think JFB mislabeled Andre the Giant and Hogan as number one.
No, that was 3. You're right. I labeled it as 1. Whoops. So we're gonna go in sequential order. I like going clockwise. It makes it easier. Canada Dry, you're up first. Take a shot.
I'm going with Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, the Iron Man match. It's not the best Iron match ever, but it is the grandfather that started it all. Like this is like the first time that it was on like a big. I'm sure there was other matches, but this one is the one on the grand stage, and this was the match that started the Montreal Screwjob.
Yeah, I think for me, the build up to this match was just as good as the match itself. Shawn in Texas working out with Jose, Bret Hart in full denim, running the streets of Calgary, Alberta in the snow. Like that build up to that match was freaking amazing. That made it.
Are you writing these down, JFB?
Yeah.
Okay, you can send them to me after.
Yeah. So I loved it. I thought it was a fantastic match, but the build up was even better. Joe.
Oh, we're going counterclockwise.
Oh no! What did you think about Bret and Shawn?
I've been on record. I find it a very boring match. The concept of an Iron Man match is multiple pins, not an hour and 5 minutes with one pin, because then it's just an hour-long match. It's not an Iron Man match.
Yeah.
And it is probably the only time I will ever say anything negative about a match with either Bret Hart or Shawn Michaels. And it's sad that it's them two together. I just don't
but I still think you're looking at it with recency bias.
I've had this opinion for a very long time that I just don't like the match.
Yeah.
But once again, I understand the enormity of it in the grand scheme of WWE history.
Yeah. All right, Joe, it's your turn. What is one of your favorite WrestleMania matches?
Number 24.
Number 24. Man, there's so many good matches. I think my first one, just because of what it did for his career, is Edge winning the first Money in the Bank at WrestleMania 21.
Ooh.
It catapulted him to the main event.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like it was a novel and new idea, and I thought it was great. It's like, you have a contract, you get a title shot whenever you want.
Yeah.
And at the time, it was the first time, it was great because you didn't know what the plan for it was.
Yeah.
So who is this?
Edge winning Money in the Bank at 21.
Okay.
Yeah. For me, that it's so weird that Jericho created the Money in the Bank ladder match and never won it ever in his career. Edge was kind of your upper mid-card wrestler. You know, you had Shelton Benjamin in that match. He was the Intercontinental title holder at the time. You had a slew of these amazing wrestlers. But Edge was kind of in that. He was just kind of there. And for him to get that win was huge. That was ginormous because that catapulted him. I mean, talk about strapping a rocket to the back of Edge and lighting it up. He soared. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think Jericho needed it. Even though he invented it, I don't think he needed it. But it did bump Edge to become the ultimate opportunist.
Yeah.
And was he the first one to be called Mr. Money in the Bank?
Yep.
Yeah, because he was the first winner. He won the inaugural Money in the Bank ladder match.
But he created that term, Mr. Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Good, solid choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just didn't want to flood the match because I could just pick 6 Shawn Michaels matches and we'd be fine. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to have some variety.
I love it. I'm going to list. It's just going to be Shawn Michael matches from here on out. I'm going to go with my match, which was the match that got me into professional wrestling. It was WrestleMania 3. It was one of the most beautifully orchestrated matches of all time. Steamboat and Savage for the Intercontinental belt.
I'm stunned that you're picking this so late in the game.
Yeah.
So early, you mean?
Yeah, so early in the game.
Yeah.
I'm stunned.
I did it because I don't want anybody else to take it because this match.
But Jeff B, like that, you're doing the match a disservice.
You know what? I'm not, because I'm going to explain why. So it's well known that Randy Savage orchestrated matches in a notebook. To the second, he would organize the match. This is how it's going to go. Boom, 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 boom. And to pull it and to find an opponent who's willing to do that dance with you is amazing. And it's a beautiful, beautiful match. It doesn't last very long. It's only 10 minutes, I think. But the beauty of it and the importance of it to me is the reason why I picked it so early. So I'm going with Ricky Steamboat and Macho Man Randy Savage, WrestleMania 3.
And I think it's a travesty that it's picked at number 23.
Yeah.
I think it should be like number 4, number 5 at the very least.
Yeah.
But there was a cool moment where right after Savage got pinned,
Yeah.
he whispers to the Dragon, "We did it, Ricky." This match should have catapulted Ricky Steamboat to heights unseen. Like he could, at this point, he could have been the Bret Hart before Bret Hart.
I agree.
He could have been Shawn Michaels before Shawn Michaels, because he's that good of a wrestler. And Vince was mad that he wanted to go off TV for a bit, because he was having a kid, and he never got that spot again in WWE.
Yeah. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I think this speaks to like the beauty of professional wrestling, where, like you said, you could have someone who's scripted every single second.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
It just looks like they're out there just having a match.
Yeah.
And it's arguably one of the greatest intercontinental title matches in the history of that belt.
Yep.
Like
Absolutely.
I said, I'm surprised you took it so low. I thought it would be higher, but we're still giving it its flowers. I mean, we're still praising it.
I shot my shot. I'm not afraid of accepting the fact I took this too early.
We're going to take heat for this when we post these results. You realize that.
Damn. All right, Canada Dry, it's your turn. What's next?
I'm gonna go with Foley and Edge and their WrestleMania match. Foley is that near the end of his road,
Mm-hmm.
and he takes a beating.
Yeah.
Like it's his last hurrah, pretty much. It's not for Mania, anyways.
Yeah.
But oh my goodness, does he ever just take a beating? And I just think a Foley match needs to be in the top 25.
Yeah. Was this the one where he took the spear into the flaming table? Yeah.
Yes.
You know what? Listen, say what you will about Mick Foley, but that man gave everything he had to the sport of professional wrestling. He's not right in the head. The guy can barely walk. He deals with a lot of pain and suffering from what he's put his body through. But what a way to put over, because at this point, Edge was a made man. This is after Money in the Bank. This is after his championship run. And to have this match, which was so violent, is a testament to Mick Foley as a guy who's willing to put over guys who are coming up, or to give them that extra push, so to speak. So, Joe, you already talked about it, right?
No, I didn't.
Okay, what did you think of it?
Yeah, obviously the first thing that comes to mind with this match is the spear from Edge to Foley through the table.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about, I can't remember if it was Adam Copeland or Foley, but one of them told a story. I think it was basically like the whole goal of this match was just to catapult Edge to that next hemisphere.
Yeah.
And I'd say mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Like it's probably the greatest hardcore match in Mania history.
Yeah.
Since none can't, other than the triple threat hardcore match between Big Show, Kane, and Raven.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. What are you gonna do? All right. So Joe, you are next.
All right. So
this is number 21.
No, number 21. So I think this is a fitting place for this because I know we were talking about this, and Canada Dry was like, this match is way too high. So I am going to take the Hardys, Dudleys, and Edge and Christian at 17 in that triple ladder match.
Okay.
Like, to me, like, this was like the crescendo of tag team wrestling in WWE.
Yeah.
These three teams had busted their ass. And obviously, everyone remembers the spear from Edge to Hardy, with Hardy dangling from the tag belts.
Yeah.
It was, you all know I love controlled chaos at its finest.
Yeah.
So
That's what it was. It was controlled chaos. I mean, this match, I think this match made tag team wrestling better. I think before this match, even before the Dudleys and Edge and Christian and the Hardys came through, tag team wrestling was boring. Like, it didn't make sense. Like, you had great teams like the Road Warriors, Demolition. You know, you had some of these great teams, but tag team wrestling was just boring. Like, it felt like filler. And then this comes along, and you're like, wow, tag team wrestling is back, and in a big way. What do you think, Canada Dry?
I think that this started a lot of the hardcore stuff, like the tables, ladders, chairs matches.
This was basically a TLC match before the term was coined TLC.
I remember Jericho saying he was watching in the crowd, and he's like, "I wish I had something for Mania. I'm watching all these guys pass me."
Yeah,
and but it was Edge and Christian's crowning moments. Like this made their careers.
Yeah, absolutely.
One more thing. So, in regards to that spot where Edge spears Hardy, I think it was Rhino who was telling the story. They were trying to make the spot work, and they couldn't. And Rhino was like, "Why don't you just have them pendulum into you?" Like, it's his idea that makes that spot work, which I think is really awesome.
Yeah. Rhino, good Lord.
All right, JP, number 20.
So there's a lot of ways that you can go with this. I'm going to get this one out early because of who this person is. I'm going to take Chris Benoit, and I'm going to put him. I'm going to do Chris Benoit and Shawn Michaels.
Wasn't that the triple threat with Triple H as well? Or is that a different match?
That's a different match.
Really? Okay.
For me, it's hard to overlook Chris Benoit, the person versus the professional wrestler. And we've talked about this ad nauseum. But watching Chris Benoit hoist up the world championship and then Eddie Guerrero joining him in this embrace and realizing that these two best friends who have come through professional wrestling together are able to share this moment. It's tragic because of what happened with Chris Benoit, but it shouldn't deter or take away from what I thought was a great match from two guys who just know how to do it and do it right, and that's Shawn Michaels and Chris Benoit. So, Cannon Dry, what do you think about that pick?
I don't think it should be on the list, but it is what it is. It's not all up to me, so c'est la vie.
Yeah. EVP Joe.
Yeah, obviously we're not here to glorify Chris Benoit because he's a horrible human being.
Yeah.
But with that said, it's like I equate this to like everyone who's like, "Oh, steroid users shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame in baseball." Well, you can't really tell the history and the story of baseball without that. And just like you can't really tell the history of greatest matches
As far as
without
baseball, I think everyone should be on steroids. That would make the game better.
I mean, during that time they all were basically pitchers and hitters alike. So
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. Athletes always will find ways to give themselves the upper hand when it comes to performance. It's steroids, blood doping, greenies. I mean, I can't tell you the number of baseball players I've talked to talk about taking basically amphetamines to stay awake from a night of partying so they can play the next day and not suffer in performance, So this is something athletes have been doing since the dawn of time. If you want an advantage, legal or illegal, you're going to find a way to do it. So, all right, let's go to Canada Dry. You're next, my friend.
Number 19 goes to Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon. I guess they took in Bret Hart's idea for the ladder match, and this is the first ladder match, in WWE history, and they did a great job. I think this is like one of Razor's best matches. And I think it's cool that Razor's on the list.
Yeah.
Because he is a great wrestler.
Yeah. WrestleMania 10, you had Shawn Michaels, who is the Intercontinental Champion, coming back.
Yeah, you had both belts.
Yeah, versus Razor Ramon, who was already the Intercontinental Champion, who was the legit champ. And that had to be decided. And what better way to decide it than to do a ladder match?
Without saying the interim champion, they didn't say it.
Yeah.
The interim champ versus that.
Yeah.
It was simply a unification match.
Yeah. And it was a great match. It was a great way because it introduced a new match style that would eventually become a household name, which is the ladder match. I mean, you Money in the Bank is all about ladders. Like, you can't get the Money in the Bank case unless you got a ladder. I mean, ladder matches now are way more violent, way more destructive, way better spots, but you can't look down on the original at all. EVP Joe, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think that's what makes this ladder match so great. It's not just a spot fest. It's a wrestling match with a ladder. Yeah. And the spots with the ladders they don't feel forced. They just feel natural within the match itself.
Yeah.
I think that's what's the best thing about this match.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a good pick. It really was. WrestleMania 10 was nothing to sneeze at. It was a great match, top to bottom. It was a great show, top to bottom. Joe, it is your turn. Who are you going with?
All right. So, is this where I start my Shawn run, or do I not? Because there's just, y'all know, I'm a massive Shawn Michaels guy. I could just do all Michaels matches here on out.
I mean, there's a reason why they call him Mr. WrestleMania.
Exactly. But this, for me, WrestleMania 35, Kofi Kingston beating Daniel Bryan for the WWE title, honestly is not something I would ever see. The story leading up to this was so great.
Yeah.
And to sit there and see the New Day celebrating, I still get chills thinking about it. It's such a great moment.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I'm going with Kofi Mania winning the title.
Kofi Mania was on fire. If you were to look at that roster that year, months before going into WrestleMania, and you had to pick who you think would end up as a world champion at the end of that WrestleMania, you would never
Not
pick
in a
Kofi
million
Kingston.
years.
And if you even say that you did, then you're a liar, because no one picked Kofi Kingston to win that belt. And Kofi Mania was amazing. I jumped on board. I was on board Kofi Mania. I was like, dude, let's go, Kofi Mania. Let's go to Canada Dry. Your thoughts on Kofi Mania?
Kofi Mania is like when you're doing an all-nighter and you're doing a paper.
Yeah.
And you got your Rockstar, your Monster, your Red Bull, you're sipping. You're like, oh, this is easy. Yeah, I'm doing great.
Yeah.
And then an hour in, you're like, and you're not making coherent sense on your term paper.
Yeah.
It was a good WrestleMania moment.
Yeah.
But it died quickly.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Look, we're not talking about the aftermath.
I know.
The Mania in a nutshell.
Yeah, I just have to give a bit of like commentary on it. And I thought it was a good moment for Kofi for sure.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and take my next one.
Number 17.
I don't think it's necessarily the best Taker WrestleMania matches. WrestleMania 29, it's CM Punk, it's The Undertaker, Paul Bearer. Punk comes out to Living Color, playing live. You have The Urn. You have Paul Heyman. And he takes on The Undertaker. The match itself felt cobbled together at times. I think the lead up to the match was kind of okay, but the match itself felt good. It felt right. Like, it was obviously Punk on his way out. It was one of his last WrestleManias. Why not?
It was his last WrestleMania.
It was his last. You're right. It was his last WrestleMania, and to be, to go against the Taker, like, that's huge. That's pretty ginormous. So yeah, I'm putting that on my list. Canada Dry, your thoughts on Taker and Punk?
You know that Punk wanted to be in the main event at this WrestleMania. And they're like, well, we can't. I don't even know what the main event of that one was.
Yeah.
But this was their bone to him for being such a great champion all year.
Yeah.
And he had a great run. That whole year was amazing.
Yeah.
With Paul Heyman and I think it's befitting that CM Punk gets on this list. So I'm happy with this one.
Yeah. Joe.
Yeah, this match was just in a run of like 5 or 6 straight years where Undertaker got with his opponent and said, guess what? We're having the match of the night. Let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, because you had the 2 Shawn Michaels, you had the 2 Triple H's, you had Batista, you had him. Like, it's just, he's like out there, like, let's go. And then it kind of fell off the edge after that, but we'll not talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this match was awesome. And you're right. Punk absolutely deserved this and more at that time in the WWE.
Yeah.
Like, he just wasn't respected like he should have been.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think the problem with Punk is Punk. And the reasons why Punk leaves promotions is because of CM Punk. Like, I've met him before, I've met him a few times, and he comes off as a pretty decent guy, but very abrasive. Like, if he doesn't want to interact with you, he will do everything in his power to completely avoid you or verbally attack you. Like, that's just
So he just comes off as either a nice guy or a dick.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no middle ground with CM Punk, is what you're saying.
No middle ground. What you have seen and know about CM Punk in the history of professional wrestling is CM Punk. Plain and simple. Which, by the way, it has been confirmed that CM stands for Chick Magnet. He was in a indie promotion. He was with a tag team. They couldn't come up with a name. They said, why don't we call ourselves the Chick Magnets? And Punk was like, that's stupid. But what if we were to take Chick Magnets and turn it into CM? And that's how CM was born.
He had to confirm that in his lawsuit with the WWE.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm next, right? 16?
Yep. You're next.
I'm going. We talked a bit about Kofi Mania, but we haven't talked about the Yes movement yet.
Yes.
I think the Yes movement was one of the coolest things in WrestleMania history. He wasn't supposed to be there, and the fans hijacked it.
What are you talking about? WWE says that was the plan all along.
Oh, of course. But yeah, so we're going with Bryan versus Orton versus Batista at number 16.
Yeah.
And he had to wrestle twice that night.
Yeah.
But yeah, that moment where he won the title.
Yeah.
Was one of the coolest moments in WrestleMania history.
Yeah. Daniel Bryan, until he got to the WWE, was a top wrestler. Dragon's Gate, Ring of Honor, over in Japan, wrestling him. He was a top draw wherever he went. The second he went to WWE, it was like they didn't know what to do with him. He was too small. He wasn't, he was super athletic, but he was small. And I remember watching that pay-per-view. I looked over to my friend and I said, there is no way in hell Daniel Bryan is going to win the world championship. The WWE, Vince doesn't like Daniel Bryan. Period.
Do you remember when Bryan Danielson won the U.S. title and the nameplate was not screwed on right? It was hanging from the title.
Yeah. Like there was a massive level of disrespect when it came to Daniel Bryan. So when Daniel Bryan came out and won that belt, it made me think to myself, maybe the average guy who isn't 6'5", 400 pounds of pure muscle has a chance to become a world champion. It was an amazing moment.
We didn't get no thought on it. Yeah.
Yeah. I love this match. Like you said, it's the triumph of the little guy beating the two bigger guys. The clear indie darling beating the WWE machine is what this match was.
Yeah.
But I still can't get over Danielson taking that powerbomb RKO combination, and they didn't clean off the table. Yeah. They left the monitors there and everything. So both Danielson and Orton took a bad bump on that.
Yeah.
But real quick, back to talk about that U.S. title. I'm fairly certain that treatment of Danielson is why I hate The Miz so much.
Yeah.
Because as a wrestling fan, Brian Danielson was so much better at that and did not deserve the treatment that he got. And it's just The Miz by proxy is the one who gets my hatred for it.
Yeah.
So you're up next with number 15, Joe.
Yep. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I think I'm going to go with WrestleMania 24, Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair.
Ooh.
And this is once again is just very emotional. It's honestly, it should have been the perfect retirement match for Ric Flair, but no, he just couldn't stay out of the ring.
Joe, can I say something to you, Joe?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I love you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had to.
Like, obviously, like, that's the moment that everyone remembers is
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels in the corners just saying, "I'm sorry, I love you," and kicking Ric Flair's head off.
It's a meme now. Like the GIF when people
Yeah.
are like, "I'm sorry, I love you." You put it on there, and then it kicks you in the face.
Yeah, like it's like I said, like, and it was just the storytelling was great. Like,
But this is the first last match.
right. And on top of that, what spawns from this is also great in Michaels and Batista. That's how you know you have good matches, when it spawns more going forward for the people. So
And this one also got Jericho versus Michaels going as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Entertainment should move you. It should move you to happiness. It should move you to fear. It should move you to crying. And it's rare that I watch a professional wrestling match and I feel sad. And that's what I felt, because at that moment, you didn't know if Ric Flair was ever going to wrestle again. And the fact that Shawn Michaels, who loved and adored Ric Flair, for him to just say, "I'm sorry, I love you," and then try to super kick his head off his shoulders, meant the world to me. I actually shed a tear, because it's a man confronting and defeating his hero. And that's a huge thing and that's the thing. I couldn't tell you for one word what commentary said.
Nope.
But that moment sticks in my memory forever. And it's a great pick. It's a fantastic pick. So now it's my turn.
Number 14.
Number 14. Man, oh man. I'm gonna go with WrestleMania 18. And I'm gonna go with Rock Hogan.
Oh wow.
Hogan came back, WCW got bought out. Most of your major wrestlers decided they were going to just sit at their house and earn money.
Thanks to Bischoff and his guaranteed contracts.
Yeah. And so when eventually the NWO returns, because of Vince McMahon, you get The Rock and you get Hogan, who was supposed to be the bad guy. And they put on such an amazing match. The old school and the new school. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't like this was a torch being passed, because The Rock was already over.
Yeah.
The Rock was a made man. But to see Hogan, and I don't like Hulk Hogan, but to see him generate this amount of energy to wrestle this match is amazing, because this match was not short. It was a pretty decently lengthy match. And Hogan, tired, beaten, worn down, still but out, an amazing match. Canada Dry, your thoughts on it?
I think this is Hogan's actually best match ever.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like,
Yeah.
not most memorable, but best match ever.
Yeah. That says a lot. That says a lot. Joe, what are your thoughts?
This, like, WrestleMania has a lot of nicknames, the granddaddy of them all. Like, but one that's always been said was the showcase of the Immortals.
Yeah.
And nothing encapsulates that more than this match right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and I'm sure there is a better double turn coming up in our list. But Hogan came in as the heel, and by the end of it, they were booing The Rock. They were cheering Hogan.
Yeah.
which to me is sort of the start of Hollywood Rock.
I agree with that. I think the issue that you ran into, and the reason why we got that double switch, was because I think the fans realized what Hogan was giving. I can tell you my personal opinion. I think that once Hogan became Hogan, once he got to that upper echelon, he half-assed and phoned in every single match. It was the same shit. It was punches, body slam, leg drop, 1, 2, 3, bell rings. Every match. He wrestled a wrestling match against The Rock. And I think the fans understood, and I think that's the reason why the fans got behind Hogan.
Number 13, I'm going off the board.
Whoa! Okay.
WrestleMania 3.
Oh, WrestleMania 3.
Roddy Piper, Adrian Adonis. What's cool about this match is Roddy Piper was supposed to shave Adrian's head.
Yep.
But it was so greasy and slick that he passed the clippers to Beefcake.
Yeah.
And said, here, you do it.
Yeah.
And that's how we got Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Yep.
Oh, didn't know that.
Yeah, so and like on this card, other than Hogan and Andre and Ricky and Savage, this match sticks out the most.
Yeah.
So I'm going with WrestleMania 3, Adrian Adonis versus Roddy Piper.
This is before we get into my thoughts, if you want to support Adrian Adonis, multiple ways to do it, but the best way to do it is to go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Adrian Adonis and get your Adrian Adonis gear and show love to a guy who put forth a great match, because this was probably one of the most,
and they're best friends.
Yeah, this is an underrated match. And if we were to go and rank every match from WrestleMania 3 and put it out to the people and put it out to the true wrestling fans, I don't think this would have broken the top 5. It was such an underrated match. It was, I think, Adrian put out a great match. Piper always does a great match, but because of where it was on the card, I don't think it had the effect that it should have had with these two guys.
But if you think about it, what other matches can you remember from WrestleMania 3 other than Hogan and Savage?
Yeah, nah. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. And I just watched WrestleMania 3 2 weeks ago. I couldn't tell you who else was on that card. What do you think?
Your thoughts, CVP Joe?
I'll be honest, I don't know if I've ever seen this match, because I've tried. Like, I was born in Yes, I know. I was born in 85. So WrestleMania 3 is like I'm 3 years old.
Yeah.
And I just have a hard time going back watching the old WrestleManias just because the production's so bad.
This is the one where they rode to the ring in the little rings.
Right.
So
like
cool.
and obviously I've seen clips of it, and because WWE there's no one better at promoting their history.
Yeah.
But like that said, it's nice to see Adrian Adonis mentioned on our list of greatest matches.
And Piper's on the list too. So
And Piper made it.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest with you, like I said, I was born in 85. So like most of my life, I've only known Piper as like an authority figure type person.
Yeah.
Like WCW, he was commissioners. Like that's my Rowdy Piper, unlike you guys who have him as a wrestler. So
yeah. All right. So who's next?
And also, just really quickly, Adrian moved really well for a big guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that guy had a gymnast buried inside that bigger body. Like he moved gracefully like a ballerina. So, Joe, who are you taking?
Okay, so this is number 12.
Yep.
And I'm going with WrestleMania 28, the end of an era. Triple H versus Undertaker with Shawn Michaels as a special guest referee. To me, this is just an ode to wrestling fans, especially that of the Attitude Era.
So
Yeah.
this
And
is
it's like
what? Say it again.
28, Taker versus Triple H with Michaels as the referee. That's the right
Is
one,
this off
correct?
the
Or
board or is this on the list?
it's on the list.
Yeah, it should be on the list.
It's definitely
it's on
there.
the list. Yeah.
But yeah, this was just more about not so that the match wasn't great, but it's the storytelling of the streak, which at that point for quite a few years, that was the biggest story in WrestleMania was, is anyone going to end the streak?
Yeah.
And to be fair, at this time, I'm a rather knowledgeable wrestling fan, so
Yeah.
it wouldn't surprise me at all if Triple H had stroked his own ego to end the streak himself.
This was WrestleMania 25.
28.
Okay, it's marked as 25. JP.
Oh, my bad.
Well, it's 28 on my list.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
I read that.
25 was because 25 and 26 was Taker and Michaels. 27 and 28 was Taker and Triple H.
Great.
Yeah, great match. I mean, it was a great match because I think for the first time in a long time, there was some real legitimate concern as to whether or not Undertaker would lose, because that was the talk. I mean, it didn't matter what the main event was. Everybody talked about the streak, and the WrestleMania streak with the Undertaker was huge. And I remember watching, thinking to myself, they're going to put Triple H over. Like, I think Triple H is going to be the Taker and end the streak. Thank God it didn't happen. It happened later down the line.
I remember like the Triple H and Undertaker talking afterwards and saying like, we put on a hell of a match. They put on a hell of a show.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels as the special guest referee with the shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was great.
Yeah. Is this the one where they were at the top of the ramp and they?
Yep. It's after the Hell in the Cell, and they're just at the top of the ramp and embrace each other, raise each other's hands. Yep.
Yeah. Which I thought was a great moment.
JP, you got number 11.
I got number 11. Oh, man. I'm going to go with, you know what? I'm going to go with, this is a tough one. I think I'm going to go with WrestleMania 19, Shawn Michaels, Chris Jericho. The match was amazing. The storyline lead up to it, putting Michaels through the Jericho-tron, assaulting Michaels' wife. Like, they built this up so well that when WrestleMania happened and I watched it, that was the match I wanted to watch. I didn't care about any of the other matches. I wanted to see Jericho and Shawn Michaels beat the living hell out of each other. That was a huge thing for me. Cannon Dry, your thoughts?
I love that match. I love Jericho and Shawn. Like, that was one of my favorite stories of all time. I love the story of that. Yeah, it was good. Deserves the number 11 spot.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, well, great pick. Like, for me, what I will always remember is Jericho in the corner doing the shuffle feet before doing Sweet Chin Music.
Yeah.
Like, that's just the spot that I remember.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, like, the storytelling, like, putting him through the Geritron 5000, giving his wife a black eye, and then she sold it weeks after the attack. Like, and you got to see this serious Shawn Michaels. Like, it was a totally different character than what we normally got from him, and I loved it.
Yeah. All right, who's next? Canada Dry, I think. Yeah, go for it.
I'm going off the board one more time, baby.
Oh!
I'm going Roddy Piper and Bret Hart for the Intercontinental Championship. This match with Piper and Hart was a masterpiece.
Yeah.
With Piper, the only time he passed the torch, the only time he put someone over, this really cemented Bret Hart as a main eventer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this match was really good and befitting of the number 10 spot. Was that WrestleMania 8 or 9?
I think it was 9. I think if I'm not mistaken, it was 9.
I think it was WrestleMania 8.
Ah, it may have
No,
been.
'cause 9 was Toga, and that was not a good Mania. I don't
I
think
think it was 8.
Yeah, it was 8.
I'll have to research that later, but yeah.
Okay. I mean, Piper and Bret Hart, I mean, you talk about two guys who know each other extremely well. And I think that they orchestrated an amazing match. Storytelling in the ring was above par. I mean, it was fabulous, the storytelling that they were telling in that match, you know, and the fact that Bret came out shinier shows you the faith that they had in Bret Hart, because Piper was on, you know, I think Piper was on his way out at that point. I don't remember. I think Piper was on his way to WCW. So
I think he became like back to the doing the commentary and whatnot, and then he was commissioner for a bit.
Yeah,
and then he was on his way out.
And he disappeared. So let's go to Joe.
Okay, so what's this, number 9? Is that where we're at, Canada Jack? Number 9?
We're at number 9.
So for number 9, I think I'm going to go with Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle from Mania 19.
All right.
Great match. And obviously the spot of Brock Lesnar almost killing himself with the shooting star press. It was, and I believe Angle was heading out for surgery, or is this the time that he left WWE altogether to go to TNA? I don't quite remember.
I don't remember.
But Brock Lesnar took a break after this.
No, because Brock won the title.
Oh, right.
Angle had put over Brock.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't remember if Angle was going out for surgery or if this was the time that he left WWE altogether.
Wasn't there another one where he beat Brock at Mania?
I don't think so. I think this was the only match, right?
Oh, that's from an alternate timeline. Never mind.
I mean, the match was amazing. But if you go on YouTube or Twitter or you go on social media and you look for clips, the same clip is played over and over again. And when they show it on TV, it's the same shot. And it's Brock Lesnar trying to do a shooting star press for more than 3/4 of the ring and then landing on his head and almost killing himself.
Yeah. If he wasn't such a workout stud with that thick neck, he probably does.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. All right. So it's my turn.
Number 8.
I'm going to go with Eddie and Kurt Angle. This was the coronation of Eddie Guerrero.
Which WrestleMania is this?
Number 20. Yeah, WrestleMania 20. This was the coronation of Eddie Guerrero. Again, this is a guy who, no matter where he wrestled, was always the top guy. And when he got to WWE, I feel like they didn't know what to do with him. And the end result was he kind of just floundered until they found his groove. But him beating Angle for the belt is just amazing, because I think it solidified and show the world Eddie Guerrero is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Canada Dry, your thoughts?
Which WrestleMania was this one?
20.
WrestleMania 20. This was the crowning moment for Eddie Guerrero. So deserves to be on the list. What are your thoughts?
Didn't he retain? I swear, because he won it the month before at No Way Out. Because that's what he got it off of Brock, which led to
But
Brock.
but didn't Benoit and Guerrero show up with the belts together
at the end when Benoit won the title? Eddie retained and Benoit won. Because Benoit won in the
right. He didn't win the title. That's right.
Yeah, because the month before at No Way Out was how Eddie beat Brock, and that's how we end up with.
So much better if they won the titles.
Yeah, I think so too. But yeah, like I love this match because it's Eddie and it's Kurt, and I love the finish. Eddie selling the ankle injury, loosening up his boot, which is how he wins. It's just the epitome of his lie, cheat, and steal persona, and it was great.
Yeah, absolutely. Canada Dry, your turn.
I'm going at number 7. I'm going with The Rock and Stone Cold and Stone Cold's last hurrah. I think that's WrestleMania 19.
Yeah, the heel turn. Oh, no. That's the second one. You're talking about the third one where he puts The Rock over. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And The Rock whispers in his ear, "I love you."
Yeah. The one that Austin almost didn't make.
Yeah. So they did this so many times, so that's got to be on the list. So at least one of them.
They had a trilogy.
Yeah. So to me, this is the one. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I thought it was like you said, it's a fitting end to a trilogy between the two biggest stars of the Attitude Era, and to finally see The Rock get that win over Austin was great, and to see the moment in the ring, even though I didn't learn what it was till years later, it adds so much more to it. But to hear the story of Austin saying that he was in the ER just hours before this match because of all the anxiety and the pressure, like it's impressive that he was able to go out there and do what he did.
Stone Cold, like you said, Stone Cold, The Rock, the two biggest stars of the era. What do you think, JFB? Stone Cold's last match at Mania.
To me, this match changed the course and the direction of WWE. They were going away from Stone Cold as being the main guy and going to The Rock as the new guy. And it wasn't like The Rock was a nobody. The Rock was someone. He was over as well. But I think I don't call it passing the torch as much as I call it just showing the world that we're transitioning in eras. And
I think you could say it was like a soft reboot is what it was.
Yes. Yeah, that'd be perfect. All right, so who's next? Joe, you're next.
Okay, so number 6, we are going with Shawn and Taker, number 26, Shawn's retirement match.
Okay.
Once again,
that's good.
What should have been his last match. I don't know why he came back for that tag team match.
That is WrestleMania 25?
26.
Yeah, 26.
25 was the first one, which is better. But 26 is his retirement. And once again, I'm a Shawn guy, and made me sad to see him lose. But for him to go out on a freaking banger of a match, you can't be mad. At WrestleMania, and then the following night with the send-off was just perfect.
Yeah. Those two guys they put on a match. They put on a wrestling match. They put on a story. And they told an amazing story. You had Shawn Michaels, who had a horribly bad back. We didn't know if he was able to compete. There was a chance that he could beat The Undertaker and beat the streak. There was so many storylines intertwined when you're dealing with this match. But overall, the first one was better in terms of wrestling. The second one was better in terms of storytelling. I think it told a better story and gave Sean a conclusion.
Yeah, I love like the swan songs, and the last two picks that we've done were about swan songs.
Yeah.
I will say though, I love hearing the story Sean telling of how this match came about and how Undertaker's just sitting at home watching Raw. It was the night of the Slammies, and Sean comes out and challenges him. And Taker's like, well, I guess what I know what I'm doing at Mania this year.
JB, you got number 5.
I'm going to go with WrestleMania 28. It's going to be Rock. It's going to be Cena.
Oh, yes.
Two guys that are so different. They are so opposite of who they are persona-wise. And the fact that Cena, this is the Cena one.
So this was twice in a lifetime, correct?
Yeah. And I remember him talking to The Rock and telling him about the time I met you when I was 20 at a store. You've always been a great guy. You've always been a top-notch guy. Thank you so much. Like, he thanked him for that match, which says a lot because wrestlers usually have big attitudes and are at times selfish because at the end of the day, you have to look out for yourself. The promoter is not going to look out for you. Your booker, your agent, none of them are going to look out for you. You have to look out for yourself. And so a lot of these wrestlers are entitled and very selfish. And this was the complete opposite. Like, The Rock could have easily said, I'm not losing to Cena. And he didn't. And he let Cena get over, and that was huge. That was absolutely ginormous. Ken and Dry, your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I thought this was so cool. And the second of the two matches was definitely the better one. Cena's like, how do I beat this guy?
Yeah. Because that was the story. The storyline for almost the entire year was, how is Cena going to beat The Rock? How is he going to overcome The Rock?
Well, and it was also like, can Cena still win the big match? Because like he didn't really win much in that year between Mania to Mania.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a horrible year.
JP, check your PM.
Check my PM.
Yes,
all right.
For me.
Hold on. Gotta find it first.
So for number was it number 4?
4.
Yeah, number 4?
Yeah, number 4.
For number 4, let me see, who do we got here? Slim pick.
There's 2 Brett matches on here. I'm surprised that done.
I'm going with Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant at number 4.
Ooh.
This is iconic.
Yeah.
Like, this was what made WrestleMania. This is the foundation.
Yeah.
Which WrestleMania was built. You got to have it. So at number 4, Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant.
I'm going to say this. Wrestling in the mainstream, we're experiencing it now. AEW is doing amazing work. WWE, especially now that they're with UFC and TKO, are becoming more global and they're becoming bigger, and you almost don't recognize them as a wrestling promotion. But Andre versus Hogan mainstreamed wrestling as a whole. I mean, there were people, I mean, still to this day, I meet people And I ask, how did you get into professional wrestling? And they're like, Andre and Hogan, WrestleMania 3. Like, that's the impact. To have that kind of impact, that's huge. I mean, that's something you just organically can't do.
And this, have you seen this match, EVP?
Yeah, but obviously, Hogan and Andre, two things stick out: is Andre being the heel, which was a big deal.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's the body slam heard around the world, and that's the moment, because WWE has always emphasized moments with WrestleMania, and arguably there's none bigger than Hogan body slamming Andre.
Yeah. The one thing that I will mention about the match, when I watch movies and television shows, I don't always necessarily focus on your main characters. I focus on what happens in the background, reactions to characters, and how they emote. And I remember Andre on the cart with Bobby Heenan after the match. Hogan's doing his pose because Hogan must pose.
Yeah.
And the look on Andre's face was not a look of disappointment, but of pride. Because I think he realized I didn't legitimize Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan was already Hulk Hogan by the time WrestleMania 3 happened. But I think he realized that wrestling is now in the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
The general guy who punches a clock, carries a lunch pail, is going to talk about this match and talk about professional wrestling. It literally is your injection into professional wrestling. What do you think, Joe?
I think
I already talked about it.
All right.
EVP, Joe, you're at number 3. Who are you picking for number 3? This is big.
Yeah.
So number 3, because I don't know what you two are going to do, and I'm damn sure this match is getting on my list. It's Taker and Shawn at 25. This match for me, like you said, the wrestling was phenomenal. And this was legitimately the first time I thought Taker's going to lose.
Yeah.
Because Shawn is that good of a performer. Taker's that good of a performer. Yeah. And just Taker catching Shawn in that moonsault and hitting that freaking tombstone. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Like, it crushed my heart when Shawn lost, because I'm a Shawn guy and I wanted him to win so bad. Even though the logical side of me says it makes no sense for Shawn Michaels to be the one to end the streak.
Yeah.
I wanted it so bad for him to do it.
My first thought was, when I watched this match, was, is Shawn physically going to be able to finish this match? Because it was a brutal match. And it was intense. And there was
Shawn with Undertaker telling Shawn to stay down?
Yeah.
Yep. This was the one where he was like, just stay down, and Shawn would not. Shawn grabs on his tights and pulls himself up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
I think this is great at number 3. I honestly love it. Undertaker and Shawn Michaels pouring their hearts out. And this is their pinnacle.
Yep. All right.
Ooh. Jeppy, what's number 2?
I love when when a match happens and it's completely unexpected. You don't see it coming. And that was the double turn. Stone Cold versus Bret Hart, WrestleMania 13. These guys told a story. And what makes, because we've talked about the double turn. We've talked about it to death. It is the greatest double turn in wrestling history.
And it made Stone Cold's career.
Yeah. Stone Cold became Stone Cold because of that match. He didn't tap out. He didn't get pinned. Face covered in blood. He passed out, and they called the match. What really stood out to me was Bret taking control of the match and knowing that blood had to be involved in order for...
And this is a time you weren't allowed to have blood.
And then Vince has said publicly he told them no blood whatsoever. And Brett telling Stone Cold, gig it. Go ahead and do it. I'll take the blame. If there was no blood in this match, it would have been a failure.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have been on.
It still would have been good, but I don't think it's number two.
No.
I don't think it's going to the Hall of Fame. I don't think it's number 2 on our list.
Nope, not at all.
And it doesn't have the effect of. I don't think it has the effect of Austin ascending like he does.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
to me, this is one of my favorite matches of all time.
Yeah.
This is where Brett becomes the hero in Canada and the rest of the world, and the villain in the United States.
Yep.
Amazing.
Yeah. And I mean, some could say that, it's so hard to pinpoint when the Attitude Era starts. Some people
say this is the birthplace of it.
Yeah, some people say it was Goldust and the Goldust character kind of ushered in. Some will say the Attitude Era was Stone Cold's promo at King of the Ring, where he's like, 316 says, I just whooped your ass. This was the ushering of the Attitude Era.
At worst, this is the catalyst for the Attitude Era.
Yeah. All right.
Real quick, though, I love this match.
Yeah.
But can we talk about how this may be the only time I remember where there is a special guest referee where he is the absolute least remembered part of the match.
Yes. You could get away with not having Shamrock in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could have just had a regular ref, and it doesn't affect this match at all.
Yeah, it doesn't. All right, Canada Dry, you have number 1. Who are you
Number 1 is Owen Hart versus Bret Hart at WrestleMania 10. 2 of the best wrestlers to ever do it. They're brothers.
Yeah.
You finally see what Owen Hart is capable of.
Yeah.
These 2 put on one of the best matches of all time. And it's really Owen's coming out party.
Yeah.
And he gets the shine on the biggest stage.
Yep.
While it doesn't hurt Brett, because Brett wins and beats Yokozuna later in the night.
Yeah, that's the thing. The Owen Brett match was one of the first matches of the night. And then Brett comes out and beats Yokozuna for the belt. So, but Owen has always been Brett's brother. He had that question mark on him. Can he surpass or at least equalize himself with the popularity of his brother? And they took that storyline about how much Owen hated Brett, was jealous of Brett, and then they come together and they have this amazing match. And the match, and here's the thing, the match was not long. I believe it was like 7-8 minutes long. It was not a long match at all.
It was at least 20 minutes. JP.
Oh, that's right. It was 20 minutes. That's right. You're right. It was 20 minutes.
I watched I watch that match all the time.
But it took Owen from being Brett's brother to being Owen Hart.
Yes.
Like, you looked at him and said, that's Owen Hart. That's not Brett's brother. That is Owen Hart. Period. Joe, your thoughts?
Yeah, and now you see why I chose the match I did at number 3, because I knew what you 2 were picking. But yeah,
check your DM.
Yeah, but yeah, like, it's Brett and Owen, and the story is great because it's 2 brothers.
Yeah,
and that always makes for good storytelling in any form of media.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, it's just, and like you said, it's Owen's coming out party. I've always been a bigger Owen fan than Brett fan. I think Owen is just spectacular.
Yeah.
But before we end the show, can we throw out a few honorable mentions that I can't believe none of us picked?
Sure.
I can't believe none of us picked Angle and Michaels.
It's hard because it's so many years, right?
Yeah. Like, I felt, like I said, I could have just done a run where I picked nothing but Shawn matches, but I tried to have some variety, so people would actually enjoy the show. So,
One day, Joe, one day we're going to do a Shawn Michaels show just for you. You may
Thank
not be on it, but we're going to do
It's just us dissing Shawn Michaels.
I may not be on it,
politics
but
of
I will
Shawn
be.
Michaels.
I will be in the comments overtaking your show. Then, okay.
Hijacking. I think it's a solid list, though.
Yeah, I'll say my honorable mention, and people, and you know what? I'm going to get hate for this, but Cody finishing the story at WrestleMania 40 was huge.
Yeah. I
That
think
was
so,
on our
too.
long list.
Yeah. And I don't even care about the match. The match itself was a good match. I think like the shenanigans of like multiple people showing up to interfere with the match. I didn't like it.
Yep.
I wanted it to be clean and just Cody and Roman. But the aftermath, Cody hugging Triple H, the tears in his eyes, realizing that he accomplished something that his father couldn't do was huge. And the payoff was just amazing.
My honorable mention is Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. They should have been the main event.
Oh, yeah.
But it was still
And
a really
it should
good
have
match.
been for the Universal title, not the United States title.
Yep. That was a great match.
I will say, in regards to your honor mention, JFB, I have a hot take. I think 39 is a far superior match.
Okay.
And I think if Cody would have won at 39 instead of 40, I think he's on this list of best matches.
Yeah. Yeah, 39. Don't get me wrong. 39 was a really good match. 39 was fantastic. I think
40 was more about the nostalgia pops of Taker and everyone else coming out to the ring.
Yeah.
Than it was about wrestling itself. So
yeah, for me, like him the match itself didn't mean as much as having the people closest to him in the ring celebrating with him. His mom, his wife, Triple H, like the litany of guys who were there to congratulate, because telling a story for a couple months is no problem, but to tell it for a whole year and keeping it going and going and going, that's hard. That's hard to do in professional wrestling because attention spans don't last that long.
So we're at an hour 47.
Holy cow.
Thank you so much for watching. JP, you want to give the whole rigmarole?
Yeah. You want to get a hold of us? Multiple ways to do it. Click on the links below. Click on your computer and go ahead and find us. We're everywhere. We don't hide. If you want to get a t-shirt, cool t-shirt like this, or maybe the one that Canada Dry is wearing, all you need to do is go to prowrestlingtees.com/FN Wrestling, where you can get all of your FN Wrestling gear. So on behalf of Canada Dry, behalf of EBB Joe, I am the almighty JFB.
Remember, if you're struggling, if you have depression, reach out to us, reach out to your friends, raise your fists in the air, put the devil in a sharpshooter, and just keep fighting.
Thanks for tuning in. This has been Tony Schiavone for the All FN Wrestling Network.